Good afternoon. This is Akashvani and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in Bastille Day Parade in Paris as a guest of honor. Tri-Services Indian Armed Forces contingent including IAF aircraft part of the parade. France to grant 5-year post-study visa to Indian students, announces the Prime Minister. Country's third moon mission Chandrayaan to be launched shortly from Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota. Expressing his excitement, Prime Minister says it carries hopes and dreams of the nation. Flood fury continues in several parts of North India, including few areas of the national capital. In Test cricket, India to resume its first innings at the overnight score of 312 for 2 against West Indies in Dominica this evening. And in Wimbledon Tennis, Alcaraz, Daniil Medvedev, Novak, Djokovic and Jannik to play men's singles semifinals today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now attending the Bastille Day Parade in Paris as the guest of honor. A Tri-Services Indian Armed Forces contingent, including IAF aircraft, also part of the parade. French National Day or Bastille Day occupies a special place in French consciousness. This day commemorates the storming of the Bastille prison in 1789 during the French Revolution. The parade is the highlight of the Bastille Day celebrations. In the evening, the Prime Minister will hold delegation-level talks with President of France, Emmanuel Macron. He will also interact with CEOs of Indian and French companies and prominent French personalities. The French President will also host the state banquet at the iconic Louvre Museum tonight. Prime Minister Modi reached Paris yesterday on an official visit to France. He held meetings with the French Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne and President of the French Senate, Gérard Larcher. They deliberated on a range of issues of mutual interest and agreed to work together to deepen India-France cooperation in a number of areas. President Macron also conferred the country's highest civilian and military honours, the Grand Cross of the Legion of Honour, on Mr. Modi following a private dinner at Élysée Palace. Interacting with Indians at a community event last night, the Prime Minister said India is the mother of democracy and a model of diversity. In a major boost to the market expansion of India's Unified Payments Interface, UPI, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that New Delhi and Paris have come to an agreement to use the flagship instant payment system in France. The Prime Minister also announced that France will grant 5-year post-study visa to Indian students.
पिछली बार जब मैं फ्रांस आया था तब तय हुआ था कि फ्रांस में पढ़ने वाले भारतीय स्टूडेंट्स को 2 साल का पोस्ट स्टडी वर्क वीजा दिया जाएगा। अब ये भी निर्णय लिया गया है कि फ्रांस में मास्टर्स करने वाले भारतीयों को 5 साल का लॉन्ग टर्म पोस्ट स्टडी वीजा दिया जाएगा।
The community event was followed by a private dinner hosted by President Macron at the Élysée Palace in honor of the Prime Minister. Our correspondent reports that this year marks the 25th anniversary of the India-France strategic partnership.
The Prime Minister's France visit is an opportunity to chart the course of the partnership for the future across diverse sectors such as strategic, cultural, scientific, academic and economic cooperation. It is an opportunity to chart the way for the next 25 years, coinciding with 100th anniversary of independence in 2047. India-France ties are rooted in deep trust and commitment. France is a key strategic partner for India and one of the earliest The two countries cooperate closely across various domains, including defense, space, civil nuclear, blue economy, trade, investment, and people-to-people ties. Both nations also work together on regional and global issues. Suparna Saikia, Akashvani News, Delhi.
On the second leg of his two-nation visit, the Prime Minister will reach Abu Dhabi in UAE tomorrow. During his stay, he will engage in extensive discussions with the President of the UAE, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, to explore opportunities for collaboration in crucial sectors such as energy, food security and defense. Indian Ambassador to UAE, Sanjay Sudhir, spoke to Akashvani on the importance of this visit.
It's a very historic visit. This would be Prime Minister Modi's fifth visit in the last 9 years. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed was in India actually in 2016 and 17. And 17 was the time when our relationship got elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement. The beauty of this relationship is that our leaders have been in very regular contact. Even during COVID, they were meeting virtually. In fact, the historic SEPA agreement was signed during COVID in a virtual summit in February last year.
All arrangements are in place for the launch of the third moon mission, Chandrayaan, at the second launch pad of the Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota today. The countdown will precisely end at 2:35 p.m. this afternoon. The success of this launch is not just important to India, but also the world, as crucial information from the mission will help future space missions globally. This mission demonstrates that India is competent enough in scientific advancements. LVM-3 rocket is just ready to undertake the mission. Our correspondent has filed this report.
The 43.5-meter tall rocket LVM-3 weighing 642 ton will have 3 stages before separating Chandrayaan-3 just 16 minutes after takeoff from Sriharikota. Scientists are busy checking out last-minute details to ensure a precise launch. Chandrayaan-3 will travel in an elliptical path to reach the surface of the moon for 30 days. The lander is expected to make a soft landing and the rover will conduct experiments in the lunar surface. The mission life of the lander and the rover is 1 lunar day or 14 Earth days. The mission is to study Earth from lunar orbit and to measure the near surface and its density changes. The mission is also to carry out measurements of thermal properties of lunar surface near polar region. Joy, Akashvani News from Sriharikota.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed his excitement for the Chandrayaan-3 mission, India's third lunar mission scheduled to begin today. In a tweet, he emphasized that this mission carries the hopes and dreams of the nation. Briefing on the mission, Mr. Modi informed that after undergoing orbit-raising maneuvers, Chandrayaan-3 will be inserted into the lunar transfer trajectory and cover a distance of over 3 lakh kilometers to reach the moon in the coming weeks. He said the scientific instruments on board will study the moon's surface and expand our knowledge. The Prime Minister also acknowledged the significant contributions of India's space scientists, noting that Chandrayaan-1 confirmed the presence of water molecules on the moon and paved the way for future lunar missions. Mr. Modi also highlighted that Chandrayaan-2 detected chromium, manganese and sodium for the first time through remote sensing, providing valuable insights into the moon's magmatic evolution. Mr. Modi said this will always be etched in golden letters as far as India's space sector is concerned. As part of India's G20 presidency, G20 Finance and Central Bank Deputies FCBD meeting began in Gandhinagar, Gujarat today. The meeting began in the presence of Secretary of Department of Economic Affairs Ajay Seth. Mr. Seth said more than 500 delegates, including governors, deputy governors, ministers and heads from G20 nations, invited countries and international organizations will participate in the meetings. He said the focus of the deputies meeting will be to discuss the outcome document for the consideration of FMCBGs.
फाइनेंस डेप्यूटी और सेंट्रल बैंक डेप्यूटी इनकी मीटिंग की अध्यक्षता सेक्रेटरी इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स और डिप्टी गवर्नर आरबीआई करेंगे। मुख्य तौर पे डेप्यूटीज की मीटिंग में जो मुख्य परिणाम प्रस्तुत किए जाने हैं वित्त मंत्रियों और गवर्नरों के सामने, उसके ऊपर चर्चा होगी और इसके पहले चर्चा होगी कि जो एक आउटकम डॉक्यूमेंट बनाया जा रहा है उसके ऊपर में एक सहमति बनाई जा सके।
The two-day meeting has been organized ahead of the third G20 Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors FMCBG's meeting. It will take place at Gandhinagar from 17th to 18th of July. Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and RBI Governor Dr. Shaktikanta Das will jointly chair the meeting. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Flood-like situation and waterlogging continued in few parts of the national capital today as well. The water level of the Yamuna River at Old Railway Bridge, ORB, recorded around 11 am was above danger level at 208.35 meters. Areas including Yamuna Bazar, Rajghat ITO, Majnu Ka Tilla, Civil Lines and Geeta Colony are witnessing waterlogging and flood-like situation. Massive traffic congestion was reported at NH24 near Sarai Kale Khan T Junction this morning. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said that people will start getting relief soon as the water is receding slowly. India Meteorological Department IMD has forecast a generally cloudy sky with light rain over New Delhi today. It said that the temperature will hover between 35 and 36 degrees Celsius. In Uttar Pradesh, more than 2.5 lakh people are affected from floods in several districts. 19 people lost their lives in rain-related incidents in the last 24 hours in the state. Rahat Chowpals have been organized in flood-sensitive districts for awareness and help of the common people. Our correspondent reports 5 people died in Kasimabad Tehsil of Ghazipur district. 3 people each in Sravasti and Siddharthnagar districts lost their lives due to lightning yesterday. Many parts of the state, particularly in western region, experiencing torrential rain for the last few days. More than 3,700 people have taken shelter in relief camps established in Saharanpur, Muzaffarnagar and Gautam Budh Nagar districts. 15 villages also affected due to breach in Ganga River embankments in Meerut. In Bihar, at least 10 people were killed due to lightning in different parts of the state in the last 12 hours. State officials said 6 casualties have been reported from Madhepura and Jamui districts. 1 death each has been reported in Purnia, Kemur and Gopalganj and Saharsa districts. Most of the casualties took place when people were working in the paddy fields during the rains. In Sikkim, incessant rain since last evening has affected normal life in the state. In Mangan district, damages to livestock and houses have been reported in Donsgu area, where the Mangan-Chungtang stretch of the National Highway 10 is blocked due to multiple landslides. All tourism activities in the district are suspended due to road connectivity disruptions. The India Meteorological Department has issued red alert for Soreng and Gyalsing districts for today. President Draupadi Murmu has asked the legislators to exercise utmost restraint during the proceedings of the House. Delivering a special address in the Rajasthan Legislative Assembly in Jaipur today, the President said, "In the era of modern technology now, the public can watch every incident that happens in the House, so maintaining the sanctity of the House is very important in the present context." Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has announced that he will be handing over power to the caretaker government. This announcement comes ahead of the general elections, which are expected to be held later this year. As per the announcement made by PM Sharif, the caretaker government will take over from August 2023 onwards. The Sharif-led government has not yet announced when it would be dissolving the National Assembly. In cricket, India to resume its first innings at the overnight score of 312 for 2 against West Indies in Dominica this evening. Openers Yashasvi Jaiswal and Rohit Sharma slammed centuries as India managed to amass a healthy lead of 162 runs over the West Indies. Debutant Yashasvi Jaiswal's 149 and Virat Kohli's 36 were at the crease at the end of the second day's play. In Wimbledon Tennis, men's singles semifinals will be held this evening. Spanish top seed Carlos Alcaraz will take on Russian third seed Daniil Medvedev, and Serbian second seed Novak Djokovic will be up against Italian 8th seed Jannik. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in Bastille Day Parade in Paris as guest of honor. Tri-Services Indian Armed Forces contingent, including IAF aircraft, part of the parade. France to grant 5-year post-study visa to Indian students, announces the Prime Minister. Country's third moon mission Chandrayaan to be launched shortly from Satish Dhawan Space Centre, Sriharikota. Expressing his excitement, Prime Minister says it carries hopes and dreams of the nation. Flood fury continues in several parts of North India, including few areas of national capital. In Test cricket, India to resume its first innings at the overnight score of 312 for 2 against West Indies in Dominica this evening. And with that, we end the Midday News.